right, welcome to training module number 5. I'm really excited to have you back here. I hope in module 4 you've gone and put in your comments, your takeaways, you've completed it, you've marked it as done, and now we're going to dive into module 5, which is 5 essential tools that you cannot live without. I use these tools every day on an ongoing basis, and some of them are pretty basic, but they are really important, and they are key to being able to troubleshoot whenever you're having challenges. And I will refer back to these many, many times, and it is so important to make sure that these are part of your everyday situations, however you want to deal with this, because they are going to go a long way with being able to help you with transitioning from negative emotions and feeling depressed or anxious or any of those kind of things into positive, happier, more productive you. Okay, so the first one is, we're going to go through, is journaling. Okay, so when I first started this in journaling, and I did like the whole Dear Diary kind of thing, and then I would do this weird thing where I'd kind of outline everything that went on in my day, and that didn't help. It didn't help at all, and that became tedious, monotonous, and it just really wasn't effective. So as I had mentioned in the initial trainings, I will be sharing with you what actually works for me, and hopefully you can apply this to your own situation. So journaling, there's a couple of different ways that I do this, okay? And it doesn't matter if you have a special book. If you do, great. If you don't, that's okay too. It can be scrap pieces of paper. You can burn the paper afterwards, and some places I actually recommend this. And I am able to do most of this stuff in my head because I've done it so many times in the past. So journaling, first one, and this one isn't very popular, and not many people talk about this. They, especially in positivity or manifesting kind of circles and stuff like that, but this is so crucial, and without this I would be in big trouble. Now, you don't want to get stuck in this type of journaling, but if you need to, and I sometimes do, this is something that is so important. I call it purge journaling, okay? And what I talk about in purge is purging out all the fear, all of the anger, all of the anxieties, all of those negative emotions. I want you to dump them onto the page. Write them out, no holds barred. Do not put any filters in. It is so important. Do not edit it. Don't worry about your spellings. Don't worry about the spacing. Don't worry about if anybody is going to read this stuff. Get it out of your system. Get it onto the page. This is so key, okay? I cannot stress this enough. The more open, honest, authentic you can be, the more valuable this kind of journaling is going to be. I want you to get out as much as you can. Now, if you're like me, sometimes the thoughts go too fast and you're like, I'm jumping all around and I can't make a full sentence and that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. You can bullet point this. You can brainstorm it in like cloud format and just kind of put keywords, whatever it is. Get the stuff out of your system, okay? Get it onto the page. Then I want you to use some of the other tools that we talked about, grounding senses, grounding, box breathing, which we're going to cover next. You're going to want to make sure that you start to take a step back after you've purged everything out into the journal, and you're going to write those things down, and you're going to gain some insight with this. And remember, it is fear. If you're angry or frustrated or negative in any way, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling suicidal, you're feeling anxious, you're grieving, whatever it is, get that out onto the page. If you're being critical and judgmental of somebody else, I want you to get that out on the page. Say things that you wouldn't ever dare to say to somebody in polite company. You wouldn't say to their face. You wouldn't want to hurt them. But this is the place that you actually can get that stuff out. And then when you take that step back, you can see that all of that anger, all of that frustration, all of that fear, depression, whatever it is that's coming out is a clear sign of you crying out for love. And so now we need to look at how can we add back in. But you can't just add that positivity stuff until you get that stuff out. And I equate it to, I don't know if you've seen those videos either on TikTok or social media of some sort, where they're taking the glass of water and then they dump in some dirt and then they pour in a bunch of clean water, and it causes all the other stuff to flow out, but it doesn't fully clear it out. And that is a longer, ineffective way. I find this is so much better at being able to purge this stuff out, get all of the fears, the anxieties, and once you've got that emotion out, now you can step back, you can look at this stuff logically, and you can actually problem solve a whole lot better. So purge journal, huge, major go-to, especially if feeling frustrated. Lately I've been having to do it all in my head because sometimes if you are concerned of whether or not you wouldn't want, like maybe you're ranting about your kids and you're like, I know this is a temporary frustration, this is a temporary feeling, but I need to get this out of my system. Get it out in a safe place where nobody can see it, burn it, flush it down the toilet, destroy it, whatever you need to do so that you feel comfortable, but you've gotten that out of your system. Get that out. And now you have an empty, clean vessel, cup, or whatever it is, that you can start filling back up with gratitude, bliss, things that you're happy about. Because this, for me, is a tool that helps me feel heard, helps me feel seen, helps me feel like the emotions and the challenges that I'm going through are valid. It's okay. We're not there to sit and wallow in it, but if you don't get this stuff out, you often will sit and wallow in it. So getting this stuff out of your system allows you to look at it and kind of go, okay, so I hear you, I understand you, now what? Now what do we need to do to actually fix this? Now you can start looking for solutions. Now you can start seeing the good stuff, because you don't have all the cloud and all the confusion and all the fog distorting your vision of seeing the truth. And love is the only thing that's real. Fear is an illusion. So getting all of the illusion, the ghost stories, out into the journal is the fastest way to get yourself back on track. So I call it a purge journal. So purge all of that stuff out. You'll get some amazing insights from it, especially if you're using the other tools that I've already taught in the previous modules and the modules that I'm going to teach next. Make sure that you're able to do this. Gratitude journal is also a really important one. Now, I don't do this as a forced gratitude, because I think that's not really good. And in fact, I try to actually not write down my gratitude stuff, because I have this thing, when I write it down, it's gone. I forget it. It's like purged out of my head. Whereas gratitude, I like to actually hold on to that and keep that in my head, and I savor it like the 5 senses that I talked about, and really holding on to those positive, happy feelings. And that really helps me stay happier and positive. And another one that I use, a type of journaling that I use, is what I call the combo. So this is a combination of purging and saying all the nasty things that I need to get out of my system, and then starting to ask questions. Ask questions to myself of like, okay, like, why do I feel that way? When did I first started to feel like this? And start to piece things together. This is where I can start to come up to the solutions, right? It's like, okay, if that wasn't going on right now, what would you be doing, right? So focusing on those kind of things actually starts to shift, and you can start to find and learn to listen to your own inner voice. Now, we're going to be talking about that in an upcoming module, and that is going to be really crucial. But for the meantime, journaling, I would recommend purging journaling, and then also gratitude or bliss journaling of things that you are happy for, that you are truly, and you actually sit and feel those emotions that go along with it, not just going through the motions of like, oh, because I don't know about you, I got told a lot, it's like, oh, you should be more grateful, and gratitude ended up becoming a weapon that was used against me. So sometimes people have this resistance to, oh, you should be grateful. It's like, well, I am grateful, just because I'm not behaving in the way that you think that I should doesn't always necessarily mean I'm not grateful. So sometimes those things get twisted, especially if you've grown up in an abusive home or something like that, or a work environment that's abusive. It gets used against you as a weapon rather than a true sense and true feeling of gratitude that you have within you. And that is the most important piece, because when you've moved and you've purged out that fear, and you can move into and start moving back towards love and feeling abundant, that is something that is really, really powerful. And I will cover more of that in depth in trainings, but for now, just know that journaling is one of the essential tools I absolutely cannot live without. Excuse me. So the next one is, I'm going to write this one down. My tummy gurgling. I haven't had my dinner yet. Okay, so box breathing, I'm going to expand on this a couple of different ways. So when you're frustrated, when you're upset, when you need to calm yourself down, box breathing is one of the ways. I got taught this by my previous coach, and he helped me so much. So this is breathing in for 8 seconds, hold for 8 seconds, release for 8 seconds, hold again for 8 seconds, and then repeat that 3 or 4 times. Do this especially if you're feeling frustrated or upset about certain things, or if you need a minute before you actually respond. So that is one way to do it. Another way is anything that will increase your breath. So this also means physical activity. This could be working out, going for a walk, deliberately focusing on your breath. So sometimes I don't just do box breathing. I will breathe in and hold it for as long as I can, and then slowly release it for as long as I can to help control my breath. This actually is also very good if you actually have the hiccups, which is where your diaphragm starts spazzing out and you need to calm it back down. And then if you tie that into when is the last time you saw a white horse, and you try to think of that, it will help get rid of those hiccups. So try that next time you have the hiccups, all right? So breath is important, right? And how we use our breath and how we pay attention to how we're breathing. So one of the signs, because a lot of times I wasn't aware of my body, and I wasn't aware of certain things that were going on. So one of the key indicators that I might be stressed or I might be in a state of fear is I have shallow breathing, or I find myself holding my breath. So if you find yourself in those kind of states, what I want you to do is do that. And what you're going to find when you do that a few times in a row, you're going to find that your body physically relaxes, your shoulders drop down. when you are shallow breathing, you're tight, you're tense, you've been at the computer all day, you're typing away, or you're, you know, being a keyboard warrior, you're pissed off at something that somebody said, and your breathing is shallow. You need to expand. You need to go open rather than closed, right? Just like the fear and the love that I talked about before. So your breathing is a key indicator. It's important for you to pay attention to it and to do things that expand your breath. Okay, so you can go into all kinds of funky breathing techniques and all different stuff. There's a billion YouTube videos out there. Go ahead and do those. But this is what I do. I'll find that I breathe, and if I'm really stressed, I'll put my hand on my heart as I breathe. I can do this through meditation, prayer, any of those kind of things. Those really help. Okay, so that is number 2. Number 3, that is absolutely essential, and you're thinking, what are you talking about here? Water. Drink your fucking water. I know, there's probably some of you out there, but I don't like water. It doesn't taste very good. Okay, if you're struggling with water, here's one of the things. First of all, know that if you are trying to operate your body without water, then it's like trying to operate a car without oil. Now, if you have a Tesla, that's a completely different story, and I'm not going to get into that. But everything is going to seize up, and you are going to not operate at maximum capacity. You're going to find that your cells are shrunk. They're in fear, right? They're shrunk, they're contracted because there's not enough fluid in them. You want to expand them. You want to fill them up. It's great for your skin. It's great for your hair, your nails, all of your body functions, your brain activity. You need water. It gets more oxygen into your body as well. So, and this is so important. So if you're struggling with water, get more fluids of any type into your body. You can, so say you drink juice or pop or something like that, whatever it is, I wouldn't recommend it. I drink primarily water, coffee, and tea. That's what I drink. And occasionally I'll have some other things, but water is a primary thing. But try, so like when I'm struggling to get water into me, and there's certain times where I will find that I'm not really getting enough water into me, what I might do is I'll take some cranberry juice or something like that, and I'll take half cranberry juice, half water. So I water down the juice and allow the fluids to get in there. You can also try doing it as smaller glasses and shots just to chug it down and get it out of the way. But get that water into you. You're going to want to, this is a 30 ml bottle, 30 milliliter, 30 ounce, can't remember. Anyway, it's a pretty big bottle. 3 of those a day, minimum, okay? So I think this is like the equivalent of 2 of the 500 ml water bottles, like the standard, like regular size water bottle. So that's 6 of those a day, okay? So get your water into you. It will help you immensely, okay? All right, number 4. Sleep. Not gonna lie, still struggle with this one quite a bit. So, sleep. So, this is something that is really important. Oftentimes, a lot of our emotional turmoil, the struggles and frustrations that we end up feeling are more tied to the fact that we didn't get enough sleep, that we are not feeling well rested enough. And a good indicator of whether or not you need more sleep is turn off all your devices. Turn them off. Sit in a chair, sit on your bed, don't read, don't do anything, and see what happens. If you're doing meditation and you fall asleep during a meditation, I remember somebody sharing this with me years ago. If you fall asleep during a meditation, then that is what you actually needed. So don't worry if you fall asleep during a meditation, okay? Find something that helps you relax, whatever that is. whether maybe you have a hot bath or a hot shower or something like that before bed, something to wind down. We all know our devices, and it's so hard not to stick with them. If you are finding that you can't sleep because you have too much stuff on your mind, use the journaling. Purge out all of the stuff that's going on in your mind instead of letting it race around and around and around. So sometimes that's what I'll do, is I'll wake up, I'll write all the stuff out, get it out of my system, and then I can sleep clearly. I don't have to worry about remembering it. It's all right there, all of those things. So keep a journal by your bed, something that you can write those things down so that you can actually get the sleep that you need. For me, also too, a woman over 50, sometimes the issue for sleep is because it's too hot in the room and I need it colder. So paying attention to the different things that I need. For me, caffeine isn't a thing. I can have a cup of coffee and fall right asleep. It's not a big deal for me, but if you are sensitive to those kind of things, pay attention to what's going on. What are you doing before your bedtime routines? Do you have a routine? Before I know myself, and I still get into this mode, especially if I've got a lot of stuff on the go, I will slip into feeling good about how much I got done with how little sleep. And that comes back from all kinds of different things that I'm not going to get into in this video, but be aware if your sleep is disrupted, there's probably some sort of emotional, if it's not physical, and some of those physical things are usually tied to emotions anyway. It's got to do with your body, so pay attention to it and try to find small ways that will help you improve your sleep. Whatever that looks like for you, paying attention to what feels good for you. Don't just go by other people subscribed, oh, you have to do this, you need at least this or at least that. Figure out where you're at with your sleep and how do you improve it? How do you get better at it? Are you waking up feeling rested? If you haven't, and you're not, maybe you're waking up with a headache, maybe you're falling asleep during the day, all of those kind of things, pay attention. Those are key indicators that you have some challenges going on, and maybe you need to go for a sleep study. So pay attention to what's going on. Sleep is really, really important, and if you're not getting enough, you're not going to it's harder to be happier, and it's also harder for you to be your best self. Okay? And then the last one, number 5. Fresh and unprocessed foods. Okay? Paying attention to what you're eating is going to make a big difference. And I'm not going to subscribe to any particular way of eating other than you are better off eating less processed food than more processed foods. Okay? And pay attention to what affects you. How does it affect you? Do you find that you are more depressed because you've been drinking soda and eating chocolate and chips and popcorn or this or that or the other thing? I know because I get into those. Those are usually an indicator there's something emotional going on. And yes, you want to incorporate. So rather than restricting, I want you to start adding in. Rather than, oh, I have to go on this diet and just eat salads and just do all of these things. Just start incorporating that stuff into your way of eating and eat that first. So eat the salad first, and then you can have burger and fries if you want, or junk food, or whatever it is. Eat something good, eat something healthy. And I know when I first started in my recovery journey, one of the things that I remember reading from the Woman's Happiness Journal, I think that's what it's called. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. The Woman's Comfort Book, that's it. So one of the things that it taught me in that book was to eat something fresh and unprocessed every day, whether that's an apple, broccoli, a salad, whatever it is, something fresh and unprocessed. And when we think of it in terms of energy and vibration and vitality, the more alive it is, the more alive we're going to be. So kind of think of it in that way and try to incorporate fresh, unprocessed, unpackaged foods into your daily routine as much as possible. And these are 5 essential tools that I absolutely cannot live without. And although I do a lot of other things, and I know everybody will talk about meditation and gratitude and all of those kind of things, these are the 5 that no matter what, I cannot live without these. I really, it's really important for me of my overall happiness, my overall well-being, to make sure that these are incorporated wherever possible. So what did you guys get out of this training? Make sure that you comment below. If you have questions, comment below on that as well. Make sure you mark it as done and note what your key takeaways are. And we're going to go into training module number 6, and we're going to talk about the HALT method. And this is so, so important. All right, so we'll see you in the next training. Bye.